These are the 3 problems from your note paper. And as I said in class today, we really don't have enough room on that note paper for you to actually write your work in a clear way. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to write it in our notebooks. Okay? So the first problem says 6x squared minus 7x minus 5 over 2x plus 1. Okay, so first thing I'm going to tell you, whenever you see something like this, you have to factor. You have to do some kind of factoring. You're not going to like cancel the x's with the x. And I can't tell you all the crazy things I've seen people try to do. This is a factoring problem. They are asking you to factor for this problem. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to factor the top and factor the bottom. You're going to, it's just like actually like what we just did with the multiplying, with the dividing, with the 3 dividing problems that we did like these. You're going to expand the top, in our case by factoring. You're going to expand the top, you're going to cancel out anything that matches, and then you're going to smush it all back together. Okay? So we're going to expand this by factoring. So let's take a look at the first one. We have 6x squared minus 7x minus 5. So I'm just going to rewrite that down here. 6x squared minus 7x minus 5. I don't see a GCF, so I'm going to start factoring. I have 6 for A, negative 7 for B, negative 5 for C. And then again, I'm going to fill in the box. Now, I've seen a couple of people also while I've been watching you practice this week that you've been like waiting to fill the box in until you've done the X. Don't do that because y'all tend to get confused about what goes where. Make sure you fill in the box first before you deal with the X. Because invariably, you're going to think you have to put a negative 30 somewhere, and you don't. Okay? So, I need things that multiply to give me negative 30, but add up to negative 7. Okay? So, if I make a table, I can tell you right now, I can see that that's negative 10 times 3, because negative 10 times 3 is negative 30, negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. So, I'm going to put a negative 10x and a 3x. Again, we're just factoring. And then I take out my GCF. On this row, that is 2x plus 1, because they have nothing in common, which means the only factor they have in common is 1. This one is 3x minus 5. Okay? So now what I'm going to do, now that I've got the factors here, I know that 6x squared minus 7x minus 5 is equivalent to 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 5. 2x plus 1 looks like it's already linear. It doesn't have a GCF, so it's already factored. Now notice, when I moved this over to my final equation, I put it in parentheses because I have to cancel something in parentheses with something else in parentheses. Well, I have a 2x plus 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. When I cancel them out, all that's left is 3x minus 5. Okay, so again, I'm going to factor the top, factor the bottom, rewrite them in factored form, and cancel what they have in common. Let me try another one. Okay, this one is 2x squared plus 6x minus 8 over 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. So I'm going to end up rewriting these. I see that I have a trinomial on the top and trinomial on the bottom, so I pretty much know that I'm going to have to factor them both. So I'll start with the first one, 2x squared plus 6x minus 8. I see that I have a GCF of 2. Okay, so I end up with x squared plus 3x minus 4. I'm going to go ahead and immediately put that 2 up there because remember, this is part of my factored answer. 2 is one of my factors, so I have to make sure I keep that one. Now I'm going to factor it. Okay, I need factors of negative 4, which is a times c, that add up to 3. Well, that means I need 4 times negative 1. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So I'm going to have 4x and negative 1x, which means my factors are x minus 1, x plus 4. Okay, so there's my first, there's the top. I need to go ahead and do the same thing with the bottom. I I have another GCF of 2 there. So I already see one factor that I can cancel out. X squared plus x minus 6. Okay, so I have, my other factors are x minus 2, x plus 3. Okay, I know I did that kind of fast, but you can rewind if you need to. Now, if you look at this, I see right away that I can cancel out the 2's. Do I have anything else in common? No. I have an x minus 1. I don't have another one of those. I got an x minus 2, an x plus 3, and x plus 4. They don't have anything else in common. So my answer is either x minus 1 over x minus 1, x plus 4 over x minus 2, x plus 3. Or I could rewrite it. I could multiply those out and get x squared plus 3x minus 4. Oh my gosh, seriously, that just happened. Okay, hold on, let's scooch this a little bit. Or I could get x squared minus 3x plus 4 over x squared plus x minus 6. These are both the same answer. It just depends on what they look like. And where I got those was, this is what I had before I factored them. See, when I factored them, none of my factors canceled, so I know that this, it could either be the trinomial. So you might see the answer listed both ways is what I'm trying to say. They might list it in fully factored form. They might list it as the trinomials that you started with before you factored these two trinomials. But the GCFs were able to cancel out. Okay? Let's do one more, and we're gonna do some examples in class. Again, this is 4 questions on your test, so we want to make sure that you got this on lock. Let's do this last one. 4x squared minus 9 over 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. Okay? So remember, I'm going to factor the top and factor the bottom. What I want you to do is I want you to factor the top right now. Okay, so you're going to factor 4x squared minus 9. Go. What I'm hoping that you recognize that this is a perfect square minus a perfect square, which makes this a dots. When I have a perfect square minus a perfect square, I take the square root of the first one, the square root of the last one, make one of them positive and one negative. If you didn't see that, you could have gotten the same thing by factoring with the box. You would have done 4x squared. Down here you would have put minus 9. You need factors of negative 36, and since I have no b, they have to add up to 0. That's 6 and negative 6. It gives me 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3. You're going to get the same thing if you recognize the pattern as you do if you just factor. So don't be worried about not knowing that pattern. And again, then I'm going to write down that on the top. Now I want you to factor the bottom. Okay, so if you notice, I have a perfect square at the beginning and perfect square at the end. So this is 2 times 2 times x times x. This is 3 times 3. 2 times x times 3 times 2, because remember it's twice. These two by themselves is 12x, which is what I've got in the middle. This is a PST. So I have 2x plus 3 squared. And again, since I'm expanding, I'm going to write them in expanded form. Now, do you see anything that cancels? Well, I see right here this 2x plus 3 cancels. Do the 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3 cancel? No, because they're not the exact same thing. So all that's left is 2x minus 3 over 2x plus 3. We are going to practice this a ton tomorrow. Watch it again if you need to. If you have any questions, please make a list of them to ask me tomorrow.